Hi there guys, today we're looking at close guard, position bottom. So the first thing when you're in close guard, again, what we're trying to aim towards, what are our outcomes we are working to try and achieve. The first one was trying to submit their opponents, thereafter we're trying to sweep their opponent. Sweeping means going from the bottom to the top, utilizing leverage and utilizing power in a specific direction through a specific technique to get the opponent to collapse or fall over, thereby giving us the top position. Okay, 3 basic sweeps we're going to cover. These are the 3 basic bare bottom sweeps to which you can build upon. Right, each of these sweeps has a criteria, a reaction that is generally required to be able to hit the sweep. First one we're starting with is the scissor sweep. In this scissor sweep position, first thing we're going to understand is which way we're going to sweep the opponent, either right or left. Second thing you require is forward pressure from the opponent. Forward pressure can be indicated generally if there's a space between the hamstring and the calf. They're providing forward pressure. This can be incentivized by either pushing into the opponent and getting a response. It can also be manually done where we can physically pull the opponent forward, or they could just out of their own accord start driving forward. The scissor sweep requires me to have my feet, one of my shins, across the center of the opponent's sternum and the other blocking a leg. Before I do that, I've got to trap the arm to the side to which I'm sweeping. I'm going to grip on the wrist and on the tricep for my first grip. It can be grabbed in a number of ways. This is the one you can use, my preferred method. You could also do a grip on the wrist and a grip on the head. This could also be substituted with a grip on the tricep and a grip on the head. You can also cross grip, same hand, same wrist, opposite hand tricep. Okay. Any grip that secures the arm firmly is going to work. Right. The first thing we'll start with, I'll go a grip on the tricep and the elbow, one on the wrist. I get my bum out, so I open my guard. When I open my guard, guys, I'm keeping my legs active. Knees are coming together. They're not loose, so the opponent can just jump out of my legs. Knees are active. I get to my side. When I'm on my side, my shin is coming across the opponent's body, and my leg is blocking low on the knee. From this position, the opponent is already driving into me. It becomes very easy. I'm simply kicking out with my top leg and cutting in with my bottom leg, creating a scissor motion whilst keeping control of the arm. Whilst I've got control of the arm, I want to have the momentum and the weight of the opponent pull me up to the top position. I don't want to send them flying and having to go and crawl after them. If I wanted to incentivize the opponent to give me forward pressure, I could also reach for the head. And thereafter, in my scissor sweep position, I could pull the opponent forward by sitting up, pulling them forward, and then hitting my sweep. A way to bait your opponent is to take your shin, place it up against the side of their body, and to give pressure in towards the opponent. Natural human reaction, if we're pushed against, is for us to push back. This does occur at certain levels, especially if you're new to the sport. You could catch or get caught in this kind of setup. The guy pushes into you, you want to push back, and you'll get yourself caught in a scissor sweep. So the precondition, you require forward movement for this scissor sweep. Also, guys, a very common mistake, people take the shin that's going across the body and they have it in an upward 45-degree angle, so that the leg is now extending that way, which is an incorrect direction. We're not trying to lift the opponent, we're simply having the top of the shin run parallel to the floor, and we're shifting the opponent's weight directly to the side whilst blocking their bottom leg. Okay, so don't try and turn the angle of your shin 45 degrees upwards for the scissor sweep. The second sweep is the hip bump sweep. The criteria, we need the opponent sitting on their heels or an upright posture. Generally, they're trying to get away from your arms. They've got their hands on your hips and they hand fight and trying to keep a nice strong posture. Now, the hip bump sweep is a very explosive movement. It requires me to cover distance quick, apply pressure through my hips, power from my legs, and get the opponent to sweep. I've got to pick a side to which I'm sweeping. First thing, I'm going to clear the hands. I'm going to take my hands to the inside, clear them. Once they're cleared, I'm going to take my chest up. I'm going to crunch my way up, and I'm going to posture on my hand. Try and avoid spending time on your elbow. This is not a very strong position. You can get broken back down. So when I crunch up, I open my guard, again, tension with the knees. I come straight to the hand. And I want to get my chest right up, nice and high. When I'm in this position, I've got my one leg blocking, and my far leg, I'm going to tuck it. So I'm going to place it on the floor with the knee facing to the ceiling. Thereafter, I'm going to drive off my back leg and get my hips to explode into the sternum of the opponent at a 45-degree arc. At the same time, this hand that's been used to base can give me a bit of a problem. So I want to sweep it away with my hand as my hips drive through. This is not something that's done gingerly or slowly. I want to pop and explode into the hip bump sweep. The third common sweep you can hit from here is the flower or the pendulum sweep. The sweep will require the opponent's posture to be broken over, my body weight under their hips, have them leaning forward, and thereafter applying the sweep. First thing I want to be able to do is take control of one of the arms. So when I control the arm, I want to go for an elbow and wrist control. I want to shuck it across and go almost into like an arm drag position. So I can go wrist, elbow, shuck across, at the same time move my butt out. So I'm going to open my guard, I can put my foot on the hip, or if I can't reach the hip, my foot on the floor, still tension on the knees, scoop my bum out. Once my butt is out, I want to take my chest and bring it as close to the shoulder as I can. I'm reaching around for the far lat. I want to take my head, the ear, as if it's aiming for the sternum. My hand on the free side is reaching under for the opponent's far hamstring. Now in that position, a lot of people get stuck. What you want to be able to do is cut your body out, create an angle, and point both of your feet upwards. As if I'm attacking an armbar. We want to cut a perpendicular angle on the opponent's body. Notice how both of my legs lift up. I can't keep one trailing low and the other one high. As I cut the angle, the key is to bring both your knees up. What this does, it rocks the opponent's body weight onto you. So that now, once they're floating, it's far easier to sweep them. When you're doing a sweep from a pendulum or flower sweep, your legs work in tandem. One generates momentum and the other gives you the actual pushing force into the body to sweep. So when I'm in position here, in that position, my one leg that's free is whooping down. As it whoops down, I sit up over my knee. So that's the motion. If you're trying to get familiar with it, you can literally just practice this. You can rock up, turn an angle, okay, throw one foot down, and rock up onto the knee. And that is the general movement used for a flower sweep. Okay guys, that's another little video for you guys to work on. 3 simple sweeps from the closed guard position. Oddly enough, a lot of our stuff that's done from closed guard requires us to first open our legs and thereafter initiate the technique. People often try and do a technique from closed guard and keep their legs locked up. The longer you keep your legs locked up and tied up, you actually inhibit your own movement. The closed legs gives us great power in pushing and pulling. Cutting angles, not so much. If you're able to cut an angle, you've got to free up your hips, you've got to open the legs and then allow yourself to switch. However, all the while, keeping tension in your knees so you have sensitivity. If you need to close up again, you could always close up. Guys, stay tuned. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. We'll put the next video out soon, which will be covering back takes from the closed guard position. Thanks, guys.